on your mat, feeling your sits bones wiggling in. And we'll just start by closing your eyes. Maybe taking a nice big breath in through your nose and letting out a sigh. We're going to be using our voices tonight a little bit, so just don't be afraid. Warn anybody around you. You might be making some noises on the mat. And with your eyes closed, just taking this opportunity to check in with yourself. Noticing where you might be tight or tense. And just being very gentle with those bits of yourself in this practice tonight. And then we'll just start by dropping the chin to the chest, just letting the back of the neck stretch out. And slowly lifting the nose up towards the ceiling and just taking a moment, just stretching out the front of your neck. And then bringing your head back to center. Let's just take our nose over towards the right. So looking over your right shoulder. And then back to center and over to the left. And back to center again. Let's bring our fingers towards the floor, having those fingertips out. We're going to just let the right ear come down towards that right shoulder and making any adjustments with your chin so you can get a nice stretch in the left side of your neck. Taking a few moments to just breathe into any tension and just as you exhale, seeing if you can release it and let it go. And then slowly coming back to center, let's slowly drop our left ear down towards our left shoulder. And again, just making any adjustments to your neck or your chin so you can get a nice stretch. And then bringing your head back to center. Let's take the shoulders to our ears, letting those shoulders just roll down your back a few times. And then maybe bringing the shoulders forward, letting them roll forward. Good. We're going to take our fingers and let's just give our ears a massage, maybe pulling down on your earlobe. So we're focusing on our throat area, focusing on our voices, but the other key component is our ears and listening. So just pulling gently on your ears, just to remind yourself to listen to your body. Good, and then just shaking out your hands. Beautiful, let's come onto our hands and knees, getting yourself into a nice table position. Fingers nice and wide, knees under the hips. And we'll just do some cat-cows. We're going to do an exhale out through our mouth. So we're going to inhale, breathing in through our nose, letting our head and tailbone come up. And then as you exhale, just letting out a sigh. Inhale, breathing in, coming into that sway back cow, and then exhale all the stale air. Inhale, nice sway back cow, and exhale, nice round cat. getting rid of all that stale energy. Taking a breath in, and once more exhale. Beautiful. Coming back to center, let's take the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then threading your hand through, we're going to lay our ear down, letting our shoulder rest, coming into a little thread the needle pose. Taking a few moments here just to see how the neck is feeling, how the shoulders are feeling. If you're carrying too much on those shoulders, just imagine all that weight just melting back to the mat, back into the earth. And then coming back up, let's do the other side. Let's take the right arm up to the ceiling and threading it through, letting your head and shoulder and ear relax. Breathing into any areas that feel a little tight, a little tense. As you exhale, feeling all the weight of the world melting back into your mat. And then coming back up into our table position. We're going to just take our hands over to the right, making a little C, looking over your right shoulder. And then coming back to center and taking yourself to the other side, looking over the left shoulder. And then back to center. We're going to lay all the way down onto our mat, letting your elbows bend and just setting your right hand on top of your left, and then just laying your left cheek down onto your hand. Legs are stretched out, maybe wiggling your hips back and forth. Feeling your belly expanding as you inhale and sinking back down as you exhale. We're going to do a little sequence here, very gentle for your neck and your back, upper back. So we'll start just by lifting the head up, looking to the right, and then slowly lowering it down. Lifting it up as you inhale and bringing it down as you exhale. Bringing it up and down just with your breath, nice and steady, noticing how that feels. And then resting your cheek on your hand, we're just going to lift the elbow up, looking in between that little space there. So just lifting your elbow and lowering, very gentle. And then letting your elbow rest back down. And now this time we're going to let our hands stick to our cheek as we lift the elbow and the head up, and then lowering back down. As you lift, you're inhaling, and as you lower, you're exhaling. Nice and gentle. Let's do two more on this side. Lifting and lowering. Once more, up and back down. Bringing your forehead back to your hands, just taking a moment to check in to see how you're feeling. And then we'll bring the left hand on top of the right. We're going to bring the right cheek and lay it down onto the hand. And just starting by just lifting the head and lowering it down, checking in, seeing if this side feels a little bit different than the other one. Making sure there's no sharp pains in your back and your neck. And then lowering your head back down, we'll just lift the elbow and lower. Doing that 4 times. See how this shoulder feels. And then lowering it down, let's lift the head and the arm and lowering back down. 3 more with your breath. Strengthening the muscles in your back and your neck. And then lowering back down. Let's bring our hands to the mat. We're going to just lift our head up and our hands, letting our neck shine forward, our throat lowering and lifting and lower. And once more, lift and lower. Let's push ourselves back into a child's pose and just taking some time to settle in here. Our first yin pose of the evening. Letting yourself relax, making any adjustments so it feels right for you. If your arms don't feel good stretched out, you can always bring them down by your sides. Checking in to see that your face is soft. Shoulders relaxing, arms heavy. And just breathing all the way down the length of your spine. With each exhalation, just feel yourself sinking a little deeper into the mat. Getting a little more grounded. Maybe that breath is getting a little longer and smoother. And then slowly just bringing yourself back up. We're going to sit onto our heels if that feels comfortable for you. And before we go into another yin pose, I thought it would be good to do some expression. And the best breath to do that with is called the lion's breath. So for those of you that haven't done the lion's breath with me before, lion's breath is taking a breath in through your nose and then sticking out your tongue, and your eyes are going up to the ceiling and just exhaling all of that stale air. So a nice way to do it is to have your hands kind of behind, facing in the opposite direction. And facing forward so nobody can see you. We're going to inhale. And then as you exhale, letting out all of that stale air. Let's take another inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Eyes going up, tongue going out. We'll do one more, taking a breath in. Get rid of all that stagnant energy. Beautiful. Awesome. So bringing your hands forward or maybe shaking them out, giving them a little bit of release. We're going to swing the legs around. And just having them out in front for a moment. Just give them a little wiggle. Maybe flexing your feet and then pointing your toes. Taking a few moments, maybe making some circles with your ankles. And then the other direction. Nice. And let's just bend the knees. We're going to come all the way down onto the mat, letting your spine relax for a moment, taking your right leg up to the ceiling, and then just crossing that right ankle over your left knee, letting that right knee relax out away from your body. And if you find this is the right amount of stretch that you want in your hips, you can just stay like this. But if you would like to take it a little bit deeper, you can take your hands, thread them through, take a hold of the left knee from behind, and gently and easily just pulling that left knee in towards your chest. And just hanging out here, you can close your eyes, softening, making sure your shoulders are relaxing. All the muscles in your face are soft. Maybe directing your breath down into any areas that are tight or tense, into that right hip. And just observing, noticing as you breathe and release. Maybe that tension in your hip begins to shift and move. And we'll just take 10 more breaths here. And then slowly releasing your hands, bringing that left foot back down to the mat. You can take your arms out and bringing your right knee down towards the right, making sure your left knee feels okay. You want to feel a nice stretch across the left hip. And then you can even take your head and look to the left. Just taking a few breaths, breathing here. Allowing things to settle and soften. And then slowly taking your right foot off of your knee, bringing your knees back to center. We'll bring our arms down by our sides, left toes up towards the ceiling, and then crossing that left ankle over your right knee. Maybe gently pushing that knee away from your body. Just checking in to see how this side feels for you. Each side might be a little bit different. So if it's the right amount of stretch, you can just stay like this. If you want to take it deeper, thread those hands and grab hold of that right knee and slowly bringing it in towards your chest. And close your eyes, checking in with that left hip. Using your imagination, imagine just sending some loving breaths into that hip, allowing any tension to just dissolve and melt away. And then releasing your hands, let's bring the right foot back down to the mat. Stretch the arms back out. And just letting your knees float down towards the left. Your head can look to the right, making sure that it feels okay for you. If it's too intense for your knees, you can always release that left foot back to the floor. Sending a nice, loving breath all the way down into your belly. Just softening and relaxing here. And then releasing that left foot back to the floor if it's not there already, bringing your knees back to center. Let's just bring them in for a little hug and just gently rocking from side to side. And then bringing your feet back down to the floor. If your pillow or bolster is nearby, we're going to take hold of it. Just lifting your hips up and sliding that pillow underneath your hips. Setting your hips back down. If you want to be a little bit higher, you might stack up another pillow. You want to just have your hips higher than your chest, higher than your neck. Taking a few moments with your arms by your side, closing your eyes. Just letting gravity do its thing here. So this is a really good pose. It's very subtle, but very good for tapping into your thyroid gland, helping to activate it. And while I'm here, I like to imagine the love from my heart flowing down to my neck, allowing me to speak more from my heart. So if I'm ever having challenges, finding that I'm not speaking from love, it's a good pose to come into, just to take some time, just to imagine that love flowing down into your throat. Allowing your face to soften, shoulders to relax. And then maybe even taking your feet up towards the ceiling, letting them hang out there. This is a great pose to come into too at the end of the day. If you have a wall nearby, it's good to bring your feet up the wall, letting them be supported by the wall. And just close your eyes for a moment. Again, just letting gravity do its thing. Helping to release any excess fluids that might have pooled up in your ankles or your feet or your calves from being on your feet all day. Then maybe bending your knees. Let's bring the knees in and just rocking from side to side with the pillow under your hips. It feels a little bit different because you're a little higher up on your back, giving a massage a little higher up. And then bringing your feet back down to the floor. You can lift your hips and just slide that bolster out of the way. We're going to let ourselves come back down to the floor.
And taking your arms out, let's let the knees just come over to the right as you look over to the left. Breathing all the way down the length of your spine and just letting go. We'll take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly bringing your knees and your head back to center. Let's bring a hand on each knee and just taking some circles with your knees, massaging your lower back. And then maybe going in the opposite direction. And even taking each knee in separate directions, whatever feels good for you. And then we'll bring our feet back down to the floor, taking your arms back out nice and wide, and slowly letting your knees float down to the left. And your head can come to the right. Close your eyes. Just breathing all the way down the length of your spine. Just letting go, relaxing here. And then slowly just bringing your knees, your head back to center. We're going to just come back up slowly, taking your pillow or your bolster and putting it crosswise on your mat. We're going to set it up so that it comes right in the center of your back, kind of where your bra strap would be. And we're going to lay down so that our head is resting on the mat. So chest is opening. You can have your knees bent. You can have your knees caving in together if that feels good. Just taking a few moments to breathe all the way into your chest. Feeling your chest expanding. So a little supported fish pose here. Again, another good pose to tap into and help activate your thyroid gland. And then we'll slowly just take ourselves over to the right, releasing that pillow from our back, laying back down and stretching your legs out, letting your arms relax by your sides, coming into Shavasana, corpse pose. Closing your eyes and just feeling everything supported by the mat, by the floor, by the loving embrace of Mother Earth. allowing all of those poses to be integrated. And just noticing how you feel. Noticing the energy flowing through your body as all the muscles relax and soften.
Bringing a full breath into your belly. And gently and easily making your way back up to sitting. Beautiful. So sitting up nice and tall, let's do a collective Om. So we're all going to take a nice big breath in and then exhale with the sound of Om. So taking a breath in. Beautiful. Bringing your hands together at your heart center and remembering to always speak from your heart. Namaste.